questions? Why are you overthinking this?
I am overthinking it. It's probably me. I don't know. I don't know why.
Okay,
Why?
do you want to ask me first?
Yeah, we do.
Or do you want me to ask you first? Because I don't care either way. I don't mind starting or not starting.
Okay, what brings you joy?
Brings me joy.
Yeah, it seems easy until you get the
Yes.
question.
Okay. Okay. So I can start on that one, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Of
Okay.
course.
The order. I really think, honestly, the most joyful thing right now is being around my granddaughter, because she's just a sweetheart,
Right.
and so it just fills my heart.
Right.
What's her name?
Her name is Aubrey. Aubrey Rose, and so she brings a lot of joy. However, in addition to her, I love being around my family, and I love being around my extended family. So that's why I took the effort to fly out here,
Right.
even though I've been sick, and be here. So I would say joy. The other thing that brings me joy is being outside in nature, hiking, and being in nature.
Can I say ditto?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
What
You
brings
can
you
also-
joy?
Pretty similar.
You can
Well,
go straight into Barbara Wawa and
Yeah.
just start asking questions of like, tell me more about nature. Like, you can do
Right,
that.
right,
Go for
right,
it.
right. I know. I think that I would touch on the same things that you said, but one of the things when I was first approached about what brings me joy is music. And it's hard to, it calms me down, it riles me up, it does a whole lot of different things. And I know in the last year, with everything I've been going through, at the end of the day, sometimes I just sit there with my earbuds in, close my eyes, and just listen to the music and let it take me places that make me get out of my head and all my worries. And so it's, obviously I love my grandchildren to the moon. But as far as an individual thing that has been constant through my life, it would be the music, starting with playing the piano and dancing and all the dancing and the troops I was in. And, that just carries through. And even to this day, when we go out and listen to music, I'm the first one up on the dance floor dancing. I don't even have to have a partner. I don't really care, because I can't sit there and be quiet when the music's playing. I have to move.
Yeah.
Whether it's, going like this, or I can't sit still and listen to music. And so I think that's been my savior through all of this. So that's what brings me joy.
Nice. I haven't thought about that question too much. I've just been asking it.
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit after you
Yeah.
presented it, and I thought, of all the things that's always been a constant, it would be music in some form. And of course, it goes back to my keeping all those ticket stubs
Yeah.
and logging them, and
Yeah.
who does that? But
It's important to you.
it was important to me, so
Right.
I could go back and look at them and see the memories, relive it a little,
Right.
maybe. I don't know.
I am grateful for many, many things. I am grateful for family. I mean, basically, family and heritage, that I was blessed to be born into a family, a loving family. And through my work, I know that's not always the case. So,
What's your work?
well, I was in education policy before.
Yeah.
So, and worked with a lot of kids from low-income families. And that's another thing I'm grateful for, is that I have financial stability, I have food, I have shelter, I always have. I will never be homeless. I have all these support systems where others don't have that. So, and I'm grateful that I have lots of communities. I have my church, and I have my women's group, and I have different groups that I'm involved in, and also that I have skills where I feel like I can contribute to different things. So I've written policy manuals, or I can help manage staff because I used to do that as a volunteer.
Does it come
Now
naturally for you to just find groups, these support groups?
I seek them out, yes, because I know what brings me joy is mainly, I mean, there are some inner peace joy, but is to be around people and have various communities that support me. So I know that that fuels me to be in a supportive environment, and so I do seek it out if it's not there. So when I moved to a new community, I had to make a whole lot of new friends and find new groups.
It's really nice because I think that one thing I've learned in the last year is the isolation that we went through. Just the interaction with people, how crucial that is. And I know I keep talking about going back to Kansas City where all our good friends are. And I dream about going back there and being with them and laughing and doing things. And I don't have that right now. And with Gary going through all of this, it just feels very isolating at times. Mm-hmm. So I agree. I think communication, and I always have that saying when I have events, I just say it's not perfection, it's connection, and the connection always seems to be the thing. So I'm grateful for just friends, and they're not maybe in my life right now, but they call me all the time. They make sure I'm okay, and it's been a tough year. I don't want that to be the whole point of my conversation, but there's been a lot going on. Yeah. Worried, scared, anxious, grateful.
Also, that's what brings our gratitude up to the forefront. We go, oh gosh, things I've been taking for granted, I'm grateful
and
for.
I think this, as you get older, you realize that also, because friends start going away, and you're like, oh my gosh, your own mortality is like looking you right in the face, and you think, well, do I have 10 years? Do I have 15 years? Do I have 20 years? I'm only going to be Aunt Edna? So, trying to get in as much stuff as we can.
Okay, I'll go a little lighthearted now.
Okay, good.
What makes you laugh?
Oh, boy.
There's got to be some laughter.
Well, I don't know right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I laugh when I'm around friends, and we say jokes and we laugh and everything. But in my day-to-day life, I don't think I have much laughter that I'm witnessing or experiencing.
This is mostly the people close to you.
Yeah.
That's what gets you to laugh.
Right. I don't know. I've been very isolated in the last year, so I'm kind of drawing off of that. If the questions had been asked before shit hit the fan, then it'd probably be a lot different. But I like people, and I don't have people right now, and so that's what I'm kind of suffering from.
Yeah. Well,
what makes you laugh?
People make me laugh, and sometimes kids make me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're so authentic, and they are just like, out of the mouth of babes is so true.
I know.
Like, they'll just say stuff that is just right on point, and it's just hilarious because people are like, oh my gosh, but they're right.
Right.
And I do listen to comedy some of the time, but I really just enjoy people's jokes. I enjoyed being around David Gunn here.
Oh, I know.
And it's just like those gun jokes. It's like Walter, I could just hear them from my other uncles that have now gone down to this generation of that humor.
Right.
I just enjoy people's humor.
Well, Dave and I drove around looking for liquor stores, and we found a lot of jokes along that way.
Yeah.
It's like, that was fun. Yeah. But I think all us cousins, we had it. I mean, I have to touch on what you talked about, your family. I mean, I had two incredible parents. They never, if I got spanked, I don't ever remember getting spanked. even though I was a problem child, probably more than I would want to admit. And they always encouraged me. They always nurtured whatever I wanted to try. If I halfway thought I wanted to try something, my mom was like, okay, let's get you going on that. And then if it didn't work, she didn't, they were always trying to make us happy. And, it's basic. Like, they were home every night. We had dinner every night together. They were involved in our lives. I think a lot of that gets missing these days, but, we did have a good family. And we all were really tight early on, camping and running around your crazy house. And
we
San
used to get
Mateo.
together multiple times a year as extended family.
Yeah.
So we would have these huge family gatherings, but not just once a year, but multiple times a year. And that's when people would run around our house with these little
They had these
passageways that
maids
my
and-
dad had made between closets and
Oh my gosh.
upstairs and downstairs, and or we'd be out on the ranch, or anyway. I mean, I remember going to San Francisco to Lee and Julie's house. That was so formal and proper. And
Oh, yeah.
boy, now that was a different experience. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. It was just a whole different experience. So
Right.
I wish our cousin John were able to participate in some of this.
yeah,
Maybe if he had had a different life, that he would feel he could. I think he would have gotten something from it, but shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I mean, life was good for me when I was 20. I was having a really good time in college. And I would say that I think I could have absorbed some of the wisdom around me a little bit better had I paid attention. So I think there was lots of wisdom around me and lots of experiences other people had had that at 20 I didn't appreciate the depth of their knowledge. I don't think I thought I knew everything, but I think I thought I knew a lot more than I really did know.
You were confident.
I was confident.
Right. You
I
had a
was-
confidence at 20.
I
and
did.
a lot of 20-year-olds do not have confidence.
Right.
I had confidence, too.
I had confidence, and I was pretty directed and centered, and I knew that I was going to finish college and go to grad school, and, so I wasn't, I was pretty driven and motivated.
See, I always was really confident, but my confidence was, I don't care what happens to me, I'm always going to land on my feet. That's what my confidence was. I may not have the best place going on right then or the best relationship, but I always felt like whatever happened, I was going to land on my feet and I was going to be just fine. And I think that is part of the positive attitude that I carry through today. I mean, Gary, he'll, well, I hope this works. And I would say, this is going to work.
Yeah.
It's just subtle little things, I think, in your personality. And I believe I've had that since I was young.
And I do think that came from at least partially the gun side. Because my mother, like your mom, I mean, she poo-pooed John Steinbeck about complaining about the grapes of wrath, that you just have to get through it.
Right.
We got through the Dust Bowl, and you will get through it, and you'll always end up all right.
You're
And
going to
so
land on your feet.
That perseverance is just driven into
Right.
me, and I think it's driven into a lot of us.
Yes. Because a lot of the guns are very accomplished.
Right. And very, they had to persevere to get there. So like some who went out on the prairie and the older generations that were in a town and they had to make it on their own.
Right.
And just like the song we sang for Edna, she was poor.
Right.
She wasn't married. She had to keep going and make it on her own.
Right.
And so I do think I had that at 20. I just think I could have absorbed a little bit more wisdom by others.
Right.
But,
I don't know what I
know.
would tell my 20-year-old self, knowing what I know now, other than life just worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Actually,
Good luck.
I just never thought I was going to go down some rabbit hole that was going to doom me at all. And so, I mean, and I was very impulsive. Maybe I shouldn't have been as impulsive. I mean, because I only knew Gary 6 months before we got married, and now we've been married 54 years. But I will tell you, we were very lucky to be that couple that would have made it that long, considering we only knew each other 6 months. So, you know, maybe don't be so impulsive, think things through a little more, you know. But the life I had, I was happy. I'm happy with the life. So I don't know that I would necessarily change anything.
Yeah. That's also another one that's been brought up several times. It's not necessarily a regret so much as a...
if you had it to do over again.
Yeah, a fork in the road was available and you realize, I made that choice. Good on me.
Right.
That's the way. Could have been something different. Had I gone the other way, but I didn't. I went that way. Yeah. Anything else y'all want to talk about?
Not in private, but we'll
I
talk
don't know, I
later
think,
in private.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like in general, I did make really good choices. I mean, not always,
Yeah.
but I mean, I did make pretty good choices in my life.
You
I
thought about it.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
so.
then there's Arlo.
Yeah, I know.
We don't want to get Arlo
Okay.
into all this.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. We don't need this on. We
Yeah,
don't need
forget
that.
it.
You're awesome. Hey there, Gun Family. This is the end of the series, at least for the interviews that I did at Edna's. So at this point, you think it'd be done, but it's not. I'm going to start doing some long-form interviews with people in the family. So I hope you enjoy them, and I'll be driving to you soon.